So when I grew up and when I went into the Army, I said, I want to be a tank driver.
Can you imagine your favorite celebrity defusing landmines in World War II or driving a truck in the Marine Corps? Let's find out some top celebs who served their countries. Prince Harry devoted a decade to military service, completing 2 tours in Afghanistan. After his time in the army, he committed himself to supporting injured servicemen and women. He even started the Invictus Games, which is a global sporting event specifically designed for wounded, injured, and sick veterans.
I spent 10 years in the army, but I found a refuge there. I found my purpose, a purpose greater than myself, and to be amongst comrades wearing the same uniform, no longer being treated differently for the first time in my life, and being able to hide away from the media focus. For me, that was an amazing place to be, an amazing community.
Morgan Freeman found early fascination with war films, leading him to enlist in the Air Force in 1955. Serving as a radar technician, he discovered that flying wasn't his passion and left the military after almost 4 years.
1955 to 1959.
Interestingly, Freeman later returned to military roles on screen, notably starring in the acclaimed 1989 Civil War drama Glory.
Did you serve in the military? I did. 3 years, 8 months, and 10 days in the United States Air Force.
At the age of 20, Gadot fulfilled her mandatory 2-year service in the Israel Defense Forces, where she worked as both a gymnastics and combat trainer.
If there was anything, what did your time in the military teach you that maybe you've been able to put to practice in movies like this?
I think it's mostly the discipline and the fact that you have to work well in a group and it's not about you. So I think it's that. I'm not spoiled. I know how to work hard. I have really strong work ethic.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, famously known as the Terminator, enlisted in the Austrian army at the age of 18.
So when I grew up and when I went into the Army, I said, I want to be a tank driver.
Meeting the government's 1-year service requirement. During that period, Schwarzenegger went AWOL, abandoning his training to participate in and ultimately win the Junior Mr. Europe competition. As a consequence, he faced time in a military prison.
How did you get a tank?
Well, this was the very tank that I actually drove in the Austrian army. When I was 18 years old, I went in the Austrian army and I became a tank driver.
You won't believe it, but Elvis received a draft notice in 1958, several years after achieving chart-topping success. He enlisted in the army and served in Germany from October 1958 to March 1960, marking the completion of his active duty. During his time overseas, Elvis met his future wife, Priscilla Presley, whose father was an Air Force officer stationed in Germany. The Star Wars actor enlisted in the United States Marine Corps at the age of 18 after 9/11. 2 years into his service, he suffered a fractured sternum in a mountain biking accident. Despite his troops' impending deployment to Iraq, Driver's deteriorating injury led to his medical discharge, with him attaining the rank of Lance Corporal upon leaving. In 2015, Driver shared details about the injury that curtailed his military career. Did you know Johnny was the first Westerner to receive the news of Joseph Stalin? Yep, the country singer enlisted in the Air Force in 1950, serving in Germany with the task of intercepting messages from the Soviet Army. That's all for today, folks. Keep watching SK Pop and follow us for more interesting celebrity stories.